Where am I?
He wakes in a daze,
Ah! Ow!
trying to move his arms to rub his eyes. He is met with an intense, ripping pain like nothing he had ever felt before.
What the fuck?
He found himself sitting in a chair with countless thick iron chains attached to his body.
What the fuck is this shit? What the fuck is this shit?
On one end, they were fastened to the floor. On the other, they were torn through his flesh and bone. But even more bizarre was the strange iron device attached to his sternum.
What the fuck?
He moves his hand slowly, trying to avoid as much pain as possible. As his hand made its way to the device, he could feel the chain's weight pulling at the flesh of his arms, feeling the blood trickle from his wounds. As his hand finally reaches the device, he pulls it slightly.
Ah!
Another rush of pain flushes through his body, forcing him to scream yet again. He pants as the pain subsides. He looked at his surroundings to see if there was some object that could possibly free him from these chains. All he could see was a grungy, decrepit room and an old TV in the corner. Nothing that he could use to free himself. He yells out into the dimly lit room for anyone that could possibly hear him.
Help! Can anybody hear me? Help!
Suddenly, the old television screen switched on to static. His eyes darted to the screen as the static blared, and an image begins to come into focus. Once he was able to see what it was, his stomach sank. He saw a hideously distorted face, a puppet's face. It was white, with black hair, black and red eyes, with red lips, and swirls on its cheeks. The puppet turned from the side to face the screen. "Hello, John." John was horrified as he realized who it was that had done this to him. Jigsaw. "Hello, John. I want to play a game. Too long have you made your life's purpose to tear apart the happiness and love of people around you for your own selfish purposes. You tear down the lives of others, taking everything they hold dear, leading some to the point of suicide. Then you loiter over them with your undeserved and self-proclaimed superiority, as if you were a god. You, John, are nothing more than an insect. Your priorities are only to yourself, ruining the lives of people around you along the way. You have no regard for any kind of human decency. You wedge yourself into the lives of lovers, tearing their love into two, breaking their hearts and destroying their happiness to fit your own means. And now, it's your turn. By now I am sure you have realized the dire situation you are in. Iron chains pierce through the flesh and bone of your body, restraining you to that chair. And on your chest is a device of my own design that leads directly to your heart. If not deactivated within 60 seconds, it will release an enormous pocket of air into your heart, causing it to burst, and you will die. The key to your salvation and your ultimate rebirth is hanging on the wall on the other side of the room. The only way to get to that key is to rip the chains from your body and walk to the key. You have torn apart the lives of others, breaking their hearts for your own sick entertainment. Will you be able to tear yourself apart to save your heart? Live or die. The choice is yours. The television cut to static, then shut off, as the sudden silence was replaced with a faint ticking. He looked down at the device on his chest to see a welded-in stopwatch counting down from 60.
Fuck!
Panic flooded him as his head darted back and forth, looking at the chains, the device, and lastly, the key across the room. He screamed and yelled in panic and frustrated. He gripped his eyes shut, gritting his teeth and grasping the chains hooked to his left forearm, and yanked. There was a sound of breaking bones and ripping flesh as the chains were pulled from his body. He screamed as he threw the chains aside. His left hand shook as he gripped the chains on his right forearm, then tore them out, yelling and crying in pain.
Oh, fuck! You sick fucking bastard! Fuck you!
He pants in pain as he leans forward, taking hold of the chains hooked into the rolls of his stomach, and yells as he rips them from the folds of his fat. The television springs to life again as the puppet comes on the screen. 30 seconds, John. Will you make it in time, or will you fail? Rage filled him as the ticks on the watch counted down. He yells as he forces himself onto his feet, having the chains tearing the flesh from his back.
I'm gonna fucking kill you! When I get out of this, I'm gonna fucking kill you!
20 seconds, John. 20 seconds till your death, or till your rebirth. The choice is yours. John forced and pushed through the pain. He took his first step towards the key, ripping the chains from his right leg. He heard his shin bone crack as he fell forward, having the final chains torn from the flesh and bone of his other leg. John yells as he saw the bones in his shin splurting out of the flesh of his legs. He started crawling frantically into the wall. 10 seconds, John.
I hate you!
9.
I'm gonna fucking kill you!
8. 7.
Almost there. Come on. You're almost there.
6.
Almost there.
5.
You sick fucker!
4.
Shit!
3.
Oh, God, no!
2.
No, please, no!
Goodbye, John. The device goes off as John rolls onto his back just in time to see his heart burst in his chest. Blood flowed from the wound. And the dying man looked over to the television. His vision began to fade. The last thing he saw before his death was the puppet saying one last thing. Game over.